Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today we are doing a whip and chat. Whip stands for work in progress, so get out whatever that is for you. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now, I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It was a normal weekend here at the coffee house, and we're going to get into these coffee house shenanigans. So first things first, how are you guys doing today? I hope everybody is doing well. As you can tell, I'm in a pretty good mood. It's raining today. I'm in a good mood. Why am I in a good mood? I don't know about anybody else's children, but my children get extremely tired when it rains. So they got up long enough to eat breakfast, and Maggie is currently passed out on the couch, and Orion is currently passed out on the floor of his bedroom. Don't worry, he's fine. I don't know why he's on the floor. He has a whole bed. One day, again, I will teach these kids how to use furniture. Apparently today is not that day. Anywho, so we had a typical weekend here at the coffee house, and we're going to start it off with Friday. So Friday, I decided that I was going to be the cool mom and take the kids to the skate park. Now, we have a park/skate park here in town. And it's not even really a skate park. It just has like all the skate park remnants of a skate park. So it has like the ramps and the stuff for them to like jump on and all this other stuff. So we were supposed to go to the trampoline park, but we'll explain why we didn't go there. But I packed up the kids and I threw their stuff in the car, and I was like, we're going outside because I need to get Orion outside a little bit more. He's been going outside, but he'll stay out there for about 20 minutes, and then he's like, can I come back inside now? So I'm like, oh God. So I decided to take the kids to the skate park, and so I packed up their skates and their bikes and their scooters into the back of my car, and we went down the street to the skate park. Now, we get to the skate park, and my biggest fear with taking the kids to the skate park is the fact that whenever Maggie skates, right, she likes to hold my hand because I will skate with them. And she likes to hold my hand, that's not the problem. Like, I can hold her hand and skate at the same time. And yes, Miss Coffee can skate. Now, can I do all the fancy tricks and stuff? No. For that, you want to talk to Mr. Coffee. Me, I'm just a vanilla skater. I can go back and forth, and that's all I need to do. And so whenever we take Maggie to the skate park, right, Maggie knows how to skate for the most part. But Maggie likes to walk and not skate. She's not even gliding. She's just walking on the skates. And I'm like, Maggie, just slide your feet back and forth. Now, she does this all the time when she's in socks on the carpet. And then she likes to go up to you and touch you so she shocks you. So I was like, Maggie, move your feet back and forth. The problem is, I don't know what gets into her that she hears this and goes, okay, so rub my feet back and forth and kick as I go. Now, I don't know if you've ever been kicked in the shins or in the back of the leg or in the head with a skate, but let me tell you, it is painful. So I'm sitting there minding my own crafty business, right? Which, by the way, I am working on Beautifully Broken by Diamond Art Club. It is an amazing kit. I absolutely love it. I have a lot of color blocking to go, so hopefully you guys are ready for all this color blocking. So I'm sitting there, and I tell her, just glide your feet back and forth. To Maggie, this means kick my feet back and forth. Now, the last time she did this, she kicked me right in the temple of my head. I had a migraine for 3 days. So I get fearful, and you're probably wondering why was my head down by her foot? Because I was putting her skate on, and she decided that she was going to try to glide her foot as I was clasping her skate on, and she kicked me right in the temple of my head. And I again, had a migraine for a few days. So I'm scared because she's already kicked me once. She's like a camel or a mule or something. So I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, all right, you got this, Tootsie. You can do this. And she goes, I can do it. I'm like, okay, well, you going to show me how you do it? And she's like, yeah. Sure enough, I stand up, and I'm like, because I told her, don't move until I stand up this time. So she goes, okay. So I stand up, and I'm standing in front of her, and she's like, okay, I got it. She goes to move her foot, kicks me right in the shin. Then Orion comes from behind and bumps into me and makes me fall over. To which then Maggie falls over because I was holding her hand, and I guess I just kind of took her down with me. And she's like, Mom. I'm like, look, your brother ran into me. Meanwhile, Orion's not on skates. He's on a scooter, and he was just bumping into me just because he's Orion. And so I was like, God dang it, Orion. And he's like, sorry, Mom. So he's off skating with his little scooter. And Maggie gets up, and she's like, I'm going to go skate now. And I'm like, wait till I get up, because I don't want you to kick me in the head again. So I get up. I have the nicest bruise on the shin of my leg right now. And so I'm limping at this point because my freaking leg hurts. So we had a nice rest of the afternoon, and we just kind of skated around. And then for a while there, the kids got tired of skating and decided we were going to go to the playground area. And this park is massive, okay? There's like wood carvings there from like everything from like bears and eagles to the stuff from Alice in Wonderland. Somebody, a local, I guess, wood artist in town, sculpted all these wood sculptures, and they put them at the playground. So when you take and walk around the track of the playground, you can see all the wood sculptures. So we like to go around looking at all the wood sculptures, and there's one of Groot and a couple of other characters that we like to see when we're walking around, but they decided that they wanted to go to the big playground. So we go over to the big playground, and there's like little kids there playing, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh great, here we go, because, you know, kids love to, I don't know what it is about kids loving to fight when they go to the playground, like what makes them so aggressive. How are you gonna get mad on a swing? Like, why are you so aggressive on a swing? Little girl on a swing, just swinging, minding her own business, but she has like some rage issues or something, and she's grunting as she's swinging. She jumps off, falls face first in the mulch, gets up, starts screaming at the top of her lungs. Her mom comes over, thinking that she's crying. She's just doing a battle cry. She jumps up so quick and then runs back over to the swing and got mad because some little boy took the swing from her. So the little girl's mom, he told her, you know, hey, you know, wait your turn, wait till he's done. And she goes, no, I was swinging there. And she, mid-swing, this poor little boy, again, if you're new, that is just my doorbell. We're going to ignore that. This little boy was just sitting there minding his own business. And she goes mid-swing, as this little boy is mid-swing, and just grabs his collar and throws him off the swing. Homeboy flew past the mulch into the grass. Now, his mom came over and was like, you know, that wasn't very nice. I'm like, look, you better mom than me, because let that had been my kid, we would have been having some problems. And she was like, I was swinging here first. And then, of course, who goes start walking over there? Here comes Maggie. No, Maggie. When I ain't fighting nobody's kid today. Nah. Pick the other swing. And she's like, but Mommy, I like this swing. There's always that one good swing at the playground, okay? And Maggie's like, I want this swing. And I'm like, no. How about we go to this thing? Now, take it. There's like 20 swings at this freaking park. They all want to swing on the one in the middle for some reason. I don't know. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, nah, we're going to go to a different swing. So we go to a different swing and we have a nice rest of the afternoon. We walk across the street because right across the street from the park is Dairy Queen. So we go across the street. We go get some ice cream. We had a nice afternoon. And then, of course, I had to come back and do live. So it was a pretty nice afternoon. But yeah, okay, so we had live, and then Saturday comes, Maggie wakes up, and she's like, Mommy, can I get breakfast? Now, Mr. Coffee had gotten called into work. Yet again, poor guy is getting so burnt out in work because every time he has a day off, they call him in for something stupid that usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes, and then he's done. The good thing about it is, even though it only took him 20 or 30 minutes, he gets paid for 4 hours. So if he stays longer than 4 hours, he gets paid for however many hours he was there. So that's not the issue. Like, the pay isn't the issue. It's just the fact that he's tired of having to go in on his days off, and he can't go do anything with the family because every time we make plans, he gets called in. So he's getting frustrated, and I'm like, you know, I don't know what to tell you about that. That's kind of your job. I'm not on call for my jobs, but I do get random messages and whatever throughout the day, and I'm not going to sit there and huff and puff about it because he's like getting legit upset. And I'm like, you just, you know, we'll figure out a day that we can all go do something. So Saturday, I wake up and it's just me and the kids. And Maggie decides that she's going to make herself some toast. And for the first time in a while, I woke up and felt like a normal human. Nothing was hurting. Nothing was bothering me. So I was like, I'm feeling pretty good today. So I get up and I come downstairs and I clean out. I do my normal routine. I walk the dogs. I come back, I clean out the ferret cage, I feed the ferrets, make sure they have fresh water, make sure they have fresh food, make them some fresh soupy. For those folks who don't know, soupy is essentially raw meat and kibbles ground together, and I put a little warm water on it. They like it warm, they don't like it cold because they're finicky. And little bougie ferrets. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, got the medicine out for the kids, took my iron pills, and which I think the iron pills are called Hexaplex or something like that. They're on Amazon. If you want to know what these iron pills are, these magical iron pills that Miss Coffee has been taking, message me and I will send you a link to the pills on Amazon. Apparently they work very well, and I haven't had any digestive issues or anything, so I love them. And again, for the first time in a long time, I've woke up and felt like I actually had energy to do stuff. So it's been nice. So I'm sitting there, and I go to the bathroom, and Maggie's like, Mommy, can I make some toast? And I'm like, sure. She asked me this before I go into the bathroom, so I go into the bathroom, minding my own business, not thinking anything. The next thing I know, I hear her click down the toaster. Now, okay, let's talk about this toaster real quick. This toaster is about 12 years old, okay? It's a gift that we got when we moved into our first house, Valentine's Day of 2009. This toaster was on its last leg. It was a Russian roulette toaster. You never knew whether you were going to get toast, burnt bread, or bread that looked like it was slightly warmed, okay? We had been talking about for years getting a new toaster. We just never did because we don't use it a whole lot. Every once in a while, people in the house will go through spurts where they want toast, and that's when the toaster would primarily get used. So I'm sitting there. Sorry, I'm straightening these up because I put them on crooked. Only one thing about white backgrounds I don't like is that you can see those black symbols underneath if you don't place them correctly. So I have to make sure I'm placing them somewhat correctly so that you can see, that you can't see those black lines. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I get out of the bathroom and I hear something go whoosh. And I was like, what the flip was that? I look into the kitchen. There is Maggie. She's like, cool. I see her face light up. Not like, hey, look, it's Christmas. But like, hey, look, there's fire. So I run into the kitchen. Of course, I slide because Maggie left a piece of paper on the floor. So I slid past her and bumped my hip into the kitchen counter. I'm fine. And I look over and the toast that she put into the toaster is now on fire. I was like, what the hell? So, of course, I grab the toaster, yank it out of the wall and throw it to the ground. Why? Because apparently throwing it to the ground is the best response to the fact that it's on fire. So I throw it to the ground. Her toast pops out. It's still on fire. So I start stomping the toast. And she's like, Mom, what'd you do that for? That was my breakfast. I'm like, chick, it's burnt. And she's like, but I want toast. So I had to show her the ghetto way of making toast. And if you don't know the ghetto way of making toast, look, listen. You turn that broiler on, you slap some butter on that bread, and you call it a day, okay? That's the ghetto way of making toast. So I made her some toast. And she's like, but the center isn't toasted. Look, chick, it's toasted. When you make it with the broiler, the center of it, wherever you put the butter, gets soft, but it doesn't harden like toast. And that's what she was talking about. And I was like, look, listen, this is how you make toast back in the day, back in Mama's day. And she's like, did y'all not have toasters? I'm like, we were too broke to afford a toaster. And she's like, you can't afford $12? I couldn't afford crap. Like, I didn't get an allowance as a kid. I don't know how many people did. First question of the video, did you get an allowance as a kid? I did not. My parents saw me doing my chores as you're contributing to the household. Why am I paying you for that? I don't get paid to clean up after you, so you're not going to get paid to clean up my house after yourself. So I didn't get, like, allowance and stuff like that. Like, kids nowadays, they don't know nothing about living back in the day. I'm telling you what, like, one, if you do have children that are, like, older, and I don't mean, like, 20s older, I mean, like, you know, younger kids that are, like, between my kids' age, like, 9 to, say, 15, look at them and ask them what a payphone is and watch their face and the confusion, and you'll hear that Windows dial-up sound, doo-doo-doo-doo. Or that's a shutdown sound for Windows. You'll hear that sound if you ask them what a payphone is. I said it to Minna once, and you would have thought that I would have asked her to do Chinese algebra on her fingers. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, no, we didn't really have a toaster. I don't remember us having a toaster growing up, but because that's always how we made our toast. So I make her breakfast and whatnot. And she then, I clean up the mess and I put the toaster back on the counter. I'm like, stupid toaster, I really need to just order a new toaster. Now, ever since we lived at our old place, Mr. Coffee has talked about wanting a 4-bay toaster. Mr. Coffee loves toast. And he would get mad because he would sit in front of the toaster. He would make it. As soon as it was done being made in the toaster, he would pull it out, put butter on it, eat it, and then put more toast in the toaster. And he's like, we need one of those like restaurant style 4-bay toasters. And I'm like, we don't need that because you'll eat up all the toast. And he's like, I know. This man will literally eat an entire half a loaf of bread, okay? Like, he will eat a half a loaf of bread. He do not care. So I'm like, you know what? How about this? Next time we get a toaster, we'll get a 4-bay. Now, this was years ago, okay? I'm talking about, this had to have been at least 12 years ago that I promised him that I was getting, one day I would get him a 4-bay toaster. Y'all, I kept my promise. Now, Miss Coffee don't promise things if she knows she can't keep them. And so when that toaster incident happened, right, I was like, okay, I've had enough. It's time to order that new toaster. So I went online to Walmart. I figured, you know, I can have groceries delivered and get a new toaster. So I ordered groceries and a new toaster. Well, why did they say they had the toaster in stock? And then when I ordered it and it was time for everything to be delivered, they didn't have it in stock anymore. But they were like, but we can ship it to you. And I'm like, fine, ship it. I don't care at this point. We've had this toaster for this long. I think we can hang on a little bit longer. The problem is Maggie's like obsessed with toast right now. So I'm like, we're going to have to keep making your toast in the oven because I'm not trying to have you set the house on fire. Well, later on that evening, Maggie decides that she wants toast as a snack. And I have this cinnamon sugar butter. And I have cinnamon sugar seasoning that you can put on like stuff if you want to make cinnamon sugar or something. Or if you're baking or whatnot. So Maggie decides that she, I guess, completely forgot the events of that morning. And for some reason, when I cleaned up, I put the toaster back on the counter. I didn't even put it in the trash. I just put it back on the counter. Cleaned up the mess and went on about my day. Didn't think anything of it, right? Right. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, you know, I finally get to sit down. I am constantly on the move all day, every day, doing something until about 9 o'clock at night. I do not sit down. I am constantly moving. So whenever I do anything like with the channel or now with Twitch, I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly on the go. I'm constantly doing something. So I'm just like, you know, that's my one time to sit down. Well, I decided to sit down. Maggie decides that she wants toast and she was going to make it herself because Maggie thinks that she's a big girl so she can make it herself. And I'm like, well, you are 9, so I think you can make toast. I don't think you can hurt anything. Wrong. So I'm sitting there minding my own crafty business and I hear the toaster click. Like she put the toast in the toaster. And I had one of those slow-mo movie moments and I was like, no! She does it. Y'all, she sets the bag of bread on fire, y'all. The whole bag of bread. Why? Because she had it sitting on a box next to the toaster. And so when the flame shot up, part of the flame caught the plastic bag of the bread and caught the bread on fire. Whole loaf of bread on fire. I run in, I grab the bread. As usual, I throw it to the ground because that's the right response. And I stomp it out. I'm on the inside, I'm crying because I just wasted an entire loaf of bread and I'm stomping on it. 2, because she's just sitting there. She doesn't even flinch, okay? She's just like, ooh, fire. Look, listen, Maggie, I love you, but mommy's very fearful that you're going to murder me in my sleep, child. Maggie is a menace. I love my daughter to death. I really do, but she is a menace, okay? She's a Maggie. She marches to the beat of her own drum, even if that drum is apparently on fire. So this week's theme is fire. All right. And only you can prevent forest fires, folks. Remember Smokey the Bear? Apparently he don't come around to the schools anymore because if he did, Maggie would have been a little bit more cautious than putting that goddamn on bread back in that freaking toaster. Anyways, so last night I was sitting here and one of my neighbors was like, hey, you got packages on your porch. And I was like, thank you. And so, and it's the lady with the Huskies. And so, because she came by to visit, I guess. She comes by to use the dog park still, even though she moved away. I guess the new place that she moved to doesn't have a dog park. So she comes over here with her dogs a couple of times a day to let them run around the dog park. And so Mr. Coffee gets up because he had to go walk the dogs. And he's like, oh, look, a package from Walmart. What'd you order from Walmart? Now, I completely forgot to tell Mr. Coffee I ordered this. Okay. And this is how I know I'm an adult. I got a Scentsy box and I got a Walmart box. I knew what was in the Walmart box. I had no clue what the flip was in the Scentsy box. I was just like, what the hell did I get? It was just some body lotion and a Baby Yoda clip. But I was sitting there and I'm like, what did I get? I don't even care. I just tossed the Scentsy box off to the side, right? And then I grab the Walmart box. He grabs it from me, opens it, and goes, "What did you get?" And I was like, "I got something for you." And he's like, "For me?" I'm like, "Well, technically it's for the family, but it's something I promised you I would get you." And he's like, "What's that?" He thought it was work pants. And I'm like, "Why the hell am I buying your work pants at Walmart? That is one thing we do not do, sir." The good thing is we don't have to buy the really expensive $90 a pair of pants anymore, because he doesn't work out in the field anymore. He works only in the shop. He will travel every once in a while to a location, but he doesn't get out of the truck. They take the tool off of his truck and then he goes back to the shop. He'll deliver it. So he's just kind of sitting there what exactly did you get? So I open the box and I'm like, "It's a toaster." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's a toaster." And he's like, "How the hell is that for me?" So I show him the toaster. Y'all would have thought me and Mr. Coffee had just had Christmas. He's bouncing around and jumping up and down with the toaster in his hand. He goes, "We got the 4-bay! We got the 4-bay!" I'm like, "We gonna make all the toast!" He ran out to the store, got 3 loaves of bread, came back and ate almost an entire loaf of bread because he wanted to use the new toaster. One, I'm super excited because the toaster is awesome. It has 4 bays. I can make bagels. I can make stuff that's like frozen waffles in there because it has a frozen button. My old toaster was just a ranky-dank, cheap old toaster that we got from Walmart. So this one's a little bit fancier than the one we had before. And so he was super excited. I'm excited because I like to eat an English muffin and jam in the morning. So I was super excited. And I was like, "We gonna make all the things." And so, of course, the kids are looking at us like we're slow. And they're just like, "What the hell is wrong with y'all?" And I'm like, "We got a toaster, a new toaster." And Orion's like, "So I can make my Pop-Tarts in the toaster without setting them on fire?" And I'm like, "Yes." And Maggie goes, "I'm going to miss our toaster." Chick, you just kept trying to set everything on fire. I like fire. And this is another reason why you should not be around hot things or things that can catch fire. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. We get over the excitement of the toaster, but the toaster came in yesterday. It's a really nice toaster. I really like it. So back to Saturday, Mr. Coffee finally does come home. Of course, he was upset because, they called him in to do something that took him 10 minutes and then he got to come back home. It's not like his job is far away. I think it's like 10, 15 minutes away from the house, but it's just the fact that they keep calling him in when they live closer that irritates the piss out of him. And I'm just like, it's your job. That's kind of what you have to do. That's like when people ask me, can they get the link to something that I've already linked in the description box? So I'm like, I understand your frustration, but it is still kind of your job. So he's been grumping around all weekend, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you about that, buddy. That's your job. That is, you have one job, and that's what you do. You go back and forth. And he knew he was going to be on call when he accepted this job. He just wasn't expecting it to be to this extent where he doesn't get a day off. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So, he came home and he was grumping, and I was like, all right, guys, we're going to play Uno and let Daddy finish grumping. And he's like, I'm not grumpy. I'm like, oh yeah, Daddy's totally not grumpy. Maggie goes, he's a grumbly bear. Now, we call Mr. Coffee a grumbly bear whenever he's really angry because that's what he acts like. So he was being a douche to everybody for the rest of the night, and I was like, you need to sit and time out or something because you're getting on my freaking nerves. I hate it when he comes in with a bad mood from work. And I try to explain to him, I understand it's hard to turn off work, but you can't bring that crap home to us because we're not the ones that did it. We didn't call you into work. So you treating us like garbage because you had a bad day. Sounds like a you problem, buddy. And so Sunday comes. And I'm sitting there, and I was so busy Sunday that when I woke up, I almost forgot that I had stuff I had to do Sunday. I had so much stuff to do on Sunday that I made 2 cups of coffee and forgot both of them. Like, they both got cold sitting over there waiting for me to get to them. I had to go live in my Scentsy group to show off a few things because I forgot that I had forgotten to go live last month. So I needed to go live to show off a few things that I had purchased. And I have a bunch of new members in my Scentsy group. So if those people are you, thank you so much for joining Scentsy group. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so I did my live, and then I was like, okay, we need to clean up this house. This house needs to be cleaned dramatically. Now, usually I'm the one that cleans the house, but because I've been so busy learning Twitch and all this other stuff, I've been doing a lot of spot cleaning, but it was time to like do scrubbing of the toilets and the showers and everything else. So we go to start cleaning, and the kids start picking up their rooms. Our room is clean already because we're adults and it usually stays pretty clean. But we do have dog fur on the floor from the dog. So Mr. Coffee is just like, all right, what's going on with the showers and stuff? I'm like, do the kids clean the showers? I'm like, yeah, just go in the bathroom and get them some of that shower seasoning. And he goes, shower seasoning? Now, if you don't know what shower or bathtub seasoning is, let me explain. How many of you grew up in a house where your parent would take the Comet tub cleaner, put it into the tub, and then leave it and let it sit like it was seasoning, like the tub or the shower was marinating? Shower tub seasoning. So I was like, yeah, go ahead and go get some of that shower seasoning for the kids. He had no clue what the hell I was talking about. Orion comes in, and I'm like, Orion, go get the shower seasoning so that we can scrub your shower, please. And he goes, okay. He comes back with a bottle of Comet. Mr. Coffee's sitting there looking like, did you just say shower seasoning? I'm like, yeah, because you got to let it sit in there and marinate for a little bit before you scrub it around. And he's like, what the hell? I'm like, you can tell you grew up in a different way than I did, because Mr. Coffee's mom, I guess, did all the cleaning for them. Like, of course they did, like, some cleaning. But for the most part, I'm guessing she did most of the cleaning. Stay hydrated, folks. Because Mr. Coffee isn't used to cleaning, but he's getting into the groove of cleaning whenever we clean on Sundays now, which is great, because that means I don't have to do it all by myself while he sits there and watches me and plays video games. That will never happen again. So I'm sitting there, and yeah, for a while there, he would sit there and watch me and the kids clean while he played a video game. Well, I got tired of it one day and fussed at him, and now he cleans with us, so it's nice. They got the whole family community cleaning thing going on. So, plus the kids are old enough. Okay, second question of the video. First question was, did you get an allowance? Second question is, how old are you when you got chores? Now, I've had chores as long as I could freaking remember. Like, my parents were like, oh, what's that? You're fresh out of the womb. As soon as you can hold your head up, you can hold up a rag and start cleaning off these tables. So I'm just like, okay. And remember, I grew up in a house with a bunch of kids. So yeah. So I'm sitting there, and Mr. Coffee was like, well, don't you think Maggie's a little too young? And the problem is, Maggie isn't too young to have chores, but maturity-wise, Maggie is too young to have chores, because where Maggie is 9, remember, she's a little bit delayed. So technically she's 9, but her brain essentially makes her act like she's 6, about 5 or 6. Will she grow out of it? Yes. Are there times where she shows that she is a 9-year-old and doesn't act like a 6-year-old? Yes. But for the most part, Maggie acts like she's 6. So, getting her to do things, especially when she doesn't want to do them, look, listen, it's a whole hot mess. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, so we get the shower and everything straightened up, cleaned up. Everybody gets all cleaned up. Like, the house gets cleaned up. Everybody's dirty and disgusting. So I'm like, okay, now it's time for everybody to get showers. We all get showers. We all get out of the showers. And I'm like, okay, now it's Sunday. So on Sundays, the ferrets get out of the cage all day. All day. Now, they're usually out of the cage all day during the week, but there are times like right now where I have them in the cage. One, because I can't pay attention to them. If I can't pay attention to them, I don't let them out. And that's not me being whatever. That's me being a responsible pet parent. Because we have dogs. And though the dogs do get along with the ferrets, all it's going to take is that one time that they don't get along and I'm not paying attention, I'm recording a video, and I go look and one of my ferrets is dead. So I'm like, yeah, no, I like to keep an eye on them. That could just be my paranoia. Now take it. The dogs have never harmed the ferrets, even with Gumball. Gumball's newest thing right now is that he likes to go over to Killian, because Killian had the cone on his head for like a week or two. And so Gumball would go over to him and scratch on Killian's back, which Killian would greatly appreciate from the looks of it. So I'm like, all right, bet. And Daisy, she just likes snuggling up with the ferrets, but she doesn't realize that she's 120 pounds. And Anna is probably 1.5 pounds. Like, they're not big ferrets. Like, they never got big like normal ferrets. Gumball is a little bit bigger, obviously. He's 3 pounds. But Anna, she's like 1 pound. Like, she's a tiny little thing. I'm pretty sure she was like the runt of the litter, which is fine because she's still adorable and cute. And so Daisy will like sit there and lay down, and then the ferret will just come lay in her tail or somewhere where there's a lot of fur. So like they'll come lay next to her face or something, and she'll just lay there with them. And I think I saw somewhere where somebody was asking me, how do I get the dogs to do that with the ferrets? I didn't. My dogs are just chill like that. They don't really care about too much. When we first brought them in, they thought they were toys at first. So we did have to let them know right away that they're not toys. Please don't pick them up and shake them. That only happened once. And if you didn't know, dog saliva is very poisonous to ferrets, which is why we freak out a little bit every time Daisy decides to lick on Anna. But we've had the ferrets for almost a year now. It'll be a year in August. We've had them. The ferrets are a year old. They turned a year old, I want to say, back in April. So, like, they're a little bit older. So, like, I don't worry so much about them as I did when I first got them. But the dogs seem to have just taken a liking to them. The dogs, they don't mess with the dogs too much. They'll play with the toys with the dogs. Like, if you get a ball that squeaks, both Killian and Gumball will play with the ball together. It's the cutest thing on the planet. But for the most part, like, the animals get along, and it's nice. And it did take a lot of work to get them there and to let the dogs know that these are not toys. They are other animals. So please do not hurt them. But we finally got there. So we let the ferrets out of the cage for the day. And, of course, the ferrets go over to the dogs. And the dogs are sniffing the ferrets. The ferrets are sniffing the dogs. Maggie comes down and she goes, can I go outside? Now, I'm sitting here. And I told you, Sunday, I had to do a live with my Scentsy group. Well, when I went live, I noticed that some of my wax was on my diamond painting. And I was like, what is that? And it smells good, but what is it? I opened up one of my containers of wax, and Maggie had politely etched little happy faces with my tweezers into a thing of wax. Y'all, I was livid. Livid. I was like, why would you do this? And she's like, I don't know, I was bored. You were bored. Well, now you're about to get even boreder, because now she's back on punishment. Well, she was back on punishment. I'm not going to punish her for, weeks because of that. But she did get punished. And I was just like, no, ma'am, we do not play with my wax. I told you I have to sell this. So what I've been doing is on the weekends for about an hour or two, I will sit at the back door with a table, which is the table that I used to diamond paint on. And I have a cloth that goes over the table that says Scentsy. And I will sell Scentsy to my neighbors that come by my house, which I have a couple of ladies that like to come by and grab wax for their warmers that they purchased off of me. So I will sit outside. And I have a bag that is like it's one of those like freezer bag things with the insulation on the inside. And I'll sit out there with that and wait for like people to drive by or something. And they'll see that, I have a sign that says Scentsy sold here. And I'll have my stuff set up outside. And people will randomly stop and ask me what Scentsy is and ask me questions. And like, they'll buy a few things and, move on with their life. So it's been really nice. But this is now the second time she has gotten into my wax and messed it up to the point where I can't sell it. Because, of course, you can't sell it when it's like that. So I'm just like, God dang it, Maggie. I don't know what her deal is. And I would say it's because she's bored or she's asking for attention. But I think I've been giving the kids a lot more attention nowadays than I have before. And when I say that, that doesn't mean I wasn't giving them attention before. It just means that now, like every day, we make it a point to sit down together before dinner and we play cards. We've been watching movies. Speaking of movies, Saturday night, I'm sitting here and we decided we're going to watch Harry Potter. We are finally going to get these kids to watch freaking Harry Potter. So we get the movie, we set it up, we get some popcorn, everybody sits down. 10 minutes in, both kids sleep. God dang it. We tried again Sunday. Got the movie queued up to where we stopped. Started in. 5 minutes in, I'm asleep. I don't know what happened to everybody else. I know I fell asleep. I was tired. Mr. Coffee's like, we're never going to watch this movie, are we? Probably not. Probably not. We tried. We can at least say we tried. All right, hold on a second. But Sunday was that day. Sunday was that day. And it was a hectic day. Oh, no. How did I almost forget this? So, let's go back to Saturday morning. Saturday morning, if y'all remember, I told y'all Mr. Coffee had to go out to work, right? I don't know how I just forgot about this. So, I'm sitting here, And I don't know what was going on, but Daisy kept coming up to me and nudging me while I was like laying in bed. And I'm like, Daisy, what do you want, dog? And she just kept nudging me, so I figured she had to go to the bathroom. I didn't see Killian at first, because I just figured Killian went downstairs. A lot of times when Mr. Coffee leaves, Killian will go downstairs. Well, I kept hearing this weird noise, and it sounded like clicking. And I was like, I didn't know what it was. I was just kind of sitting there in bed like, you know, somebody's coming to murder me. They're going to have to murder me in this bed because I'm not about to get up. I don't have any pants on. So finally I get up and I'm like, well, can I at least get a shower, Daisy? Like, I'm feeling kind of icky after like sleeping. I don't know why. Sometimes I wake up and I feel like I sweated like hog piss all night or something. So I'm like, okay, I need to get a shower. But Daisy wasn't letting me have it. And I was like, what is going on with you, dog? Like, what is happening? And usually the sweating thing happens when if I retain water, I'll wake up and be covered in sweat for no reason. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm sitting there. Oh, I got wax coming off my pen. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you know, what is going on with this dog? And I keep hearing this goddamn clicking. Well, then I start hearing, and I'm like, what the flip? Killian, what's wrong? And I'm thinking, okay, he done got himself stuck in something, because that's the noise of I'm stuck. So I come downstairs. I did put on pants. I put on my little Christmas pants that I got from Becky, like, I want to say last year for Christmas. Every year for Christmas, Becky's Madness for Crafting gets the family matching jammies. So, like, I'm still wearing mine because the ones that she got this past year were, like, on point. They were baggy and comfy. I stole Mr. Coffee's. Anyways, he kept the pants. I took the shirt. He doesn't like long sleeve shirts. So, I'm sitting there and I'm in my jammies. I'm rocking the Christmas jammies, minding my own business. I put on my slippers and I see Killian at the door. Now, when Mr. Coffee leaves in the morning, usually, he had to get a work truck because his truck is out of commission right now. It is acting up again. It keeps getting stuck in gear. And this was what we paid the $4,000 for like a few months ago to get fixed. And of course, they didn't fix it. So luckily it's under warranty, so he can take it back to them, which he is doing. But until then, he doesn't want to drive it around for fear that it's going to mess up even more. So he has a company truck right now. So he has to leave out of the front door instead of leaving out of the garage in the morning. Not a big deal, right? Right. So I'm sitting there and I look over and Killian's at the door and he's whining. Now, he will do this when Mr. Coffee leaves. He doesn't like when Mr. Coffee goes to work. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dog. He has to go to work. Well, I'm sitting there and all of a sudden, I know what the clicking noise is. It's Killian jumping up at the door, hitting the handle. Now, if y'all remember, a few months ago, it might even, no, it was a few months ago, I had the mystery of how does Mr. Coffee, because we had to have a baby lock put onto, it's from a baby lock from Amazon. And what it does is we have the handles that come out like this and they kind of make a hook. So you have to push it down to open the door. Well, we had to put a handle on it because Killian had learned how to open the door while we weren't home. And he would just go run around the dog park or down the street. So I'm sitting there and I see him messing with the door. And I'm like, stop jumping up at the door. I'm getting together so we can go outside. I'm thinking he just has to really go to the bathroom. No. This mother chicken, somehow Mr. Coffee forgot to lock the freaking baby lock. He opens the door and takes off. Okay? Now remember, I'm in my pajamas. I have on Christmas pajamas, a hair bonnet, and pink Ugg slippers, okay? I bolt out that door. I'm running around, and the girls are flopping, and I'm flopping, and I'm like, Killian, get back here! Killian! Y'all, why does dog make me chase him 2 blocks up the street before I caught him and brought him back home, okay? Now, y'all remember last week when I told y'all about that goddamn bunny? And how he sat there at that dog gate with the gate wide open and just stared at me? Yeah. There's times where Killian will not leave where he's supposed to be. And then there's times where he will. I chased this Mo chicken across the street, which I had to say I'm pretty proud of him. Because when he got to the part where he had to cross the street, he did look both ways. Which is better than I can say that, Maggie does sometimes. So I'm like, at least he looked both ways. So if there was a car coming, he wasn't supposed to go. So, and how did I train the dog to do that? Again, Cesar Milan, y'all. He's right here on YouTube. YouTube University can teach you pretty much anything. So I'm sitting there, and I finally catch him. And I'm like, hair bonnet is half off. Half my hair is sticking out the hair bonnet. My slippers are completely filthy from running around outside. And I don't wear my slippers outside because those are inside shoes, not outside shoes. But I didn't really have time to throw on regular shoes. So my slippers ended up having to be outside shoes. And I was mad because he made me use them outside. And they had just cut grass. So my pink Ugg slippers are now green. Those Ugg slippers were a gift. Okay, that's why they're important to me. So not the fact that they're Uggs. I don't give a crap that they're Uggs. They were a gift from a really nice friend. And I love those slippers, and he made me use them outside, which made them turn green, which I was, of course, not happy about. So I grab his collar, and I walk him back to the house. And he then gets away from me because he sees another lady and her dog going into the dog park. He decides he's going to go into the dog park, too. So before the lady could latch the gate, Killian bolts into the dog park. He goes to the bathroom, to which I then have to take and go into the dog park in my mother flipping slippers to clean up after him. And then I grab him. I apologize to the lady for him running in there. And of course, her dog is playing with Killian. And she's like, oh, it's okay. I see this dog around here all the time. I just thought he was vicious. And I'm like, no, he just has like the best resting bitch face for a dog you will ever see. And she's like, oh, well, he's so cute. She goes, does he have that zinc deficiency? She noticed right away that his face was like half bald. And I was like, yeah. She's like, she was telling me that she had a husky that was the same way, that had the zinc deficiency, that his face would go bald and everything else. And we sat and talked for a few minutes. The whole time I'm farting and fuming because I'm in the dog park in my house shoes. Okay. They're not called house shoes to be worn outside. Okay. So I talked to the lady. She was really nice. She, we've been going outside with the dog now every day, which has been really nice for the dogs to have another dog to play with. And so I told her, anytime you see me out here, please feel free. I'm like, I know the German Shepherd and the dogs look mean, but really they're not. People just assume that they are because the dog likes to bark. I'm like, but one, it's a dog. So, the one thing it does is bark. And two, they're like really friendly dogs. They just don't have any other friends to play with because everybody just assumes that they're vicious. And of course, I let Daisy out of the house and went and got my essentially my dog shoe boots and put those on so I can get out of my freaking slippers. And I brought Daisy into the dog park so she could meet Daisy. And Daisy just sat there getting loved on, and she was loving it. And the lady was like, they are very sweet dogs. And I'm like, well, thank you. I'm like, people just assume that they're vicious just because they're a German Shepherd and a Husky, but really they're not. The German Shepherd doesn't like car tires or bike tires or tires in general, so she will bark if she sees them. I'm like, it's not a vicious bark because if you look, her tail is wagging. She wants to play. I don't know what it is or what happened, but when we started letting that teenager walk the dogs, ever since then, Daisy hates tires. I don't know why. So the lady, said goodbye, and I said goodbye, and I brought the dogs back to the house. So that was essentially the beginning of Saturday morning. So when I walked the dogs, that is how I ended up walking the dogs, was having to chase Killian 2 blocks up the mother freaking street to go get him, to bring him home so that we can come home. And then, y'all, answer me this question quick. Does anybody else's kid, I know I'm not alone in this, so don't act like I'm alone in this, okay? I know somebody else's kids does this. If they don't do this currently, they used to when they were smaller, okay? Because a lot of y'all either have kids or had kids, and now your kids are older. Does anybody else's kids, we've been having a problem with Orion doing this lately, and I don't know why or how to get him to stop doing this. So maybe y'all can help. Now, Orion will come down for lunch every day around 2 to 3 o'clock, right? Right. He'll come down and he'll like, can I get some lunch? Sure you can, buddy. He'll go into the fridge. He'll open the fridge, look around, close the fridge, open it back up 2 seconds later, look around. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, looking for something. What do you mean looking for something? Now, like most kids, my kids love to do there's nothing to eat in here. I'm sorry, say what? Did I just not spend $200 on groceries for there to be nothing in here? When they say there's nothing to eat in here, there's Lunchables, 3 different kinds. 12 packs of each. There are, I buy the really good, I love Goober. If you don't know what Goober is the peanut butter and jelly in the same jar. And it's like my favorite, okay? So I buy the Goober. I don't make my kids do peanut butter and jelly. Like, they're spoiled. I am aware of this. But I'm a big kid. So, like, one of the things I used to love as a kid, which was a treat for us, was when my mom would get Goober from the grocery store. So I like Goober. So that's what I buy for them, especially over the summer, just to make it easier. We have sandwich stuff, okay? They don't only have peanut butter and jelly. They also have turkey and cheese, ham and cheese, salami and cheese, all kinds of sandwiches that they can make. We have ramen noodles, about 5 different kinds. We have crackers and tuna, chicken salad. Oh my God, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna finish this one. I'm gonna tell y'all about the chicken salad. So we have all this stuff, and I literally just went grocery shopping, right? Literally just went grocery shopping. This kid looked me straight in my retinas and said, "Mom, there's nothing to eat in here." What? Excuse me? What? Literally. Not only that, they have those little bags of chips, and they get juice hugs. Those little juice barrels that we used to get as a kid. There's nothing to eat in here. There is nothing more infuriating than buying groceries and then having your kids look at you and go, "There's nothing to eat in here." I will choke the life out of you, you small, tiny human. What did you just say to me? Like, you might as well have cursed at me when you tell me there's nothing to eat in here after I literally just finished putting away groceries. Y'all, I had to take a deep breath and step away. But then I come back, and he's doing this thing where he will close the fridge, look around, open the fridge, close the fridge, look around, and then open. And I'm like, okay, whoa. Sir. What the flip are you doing? And he's like, "What do you mean?" "What the flip do you mean? What do I mean? What are you doing?" Y'all, does anybody else's kids open the fridge, look in the fridge for like 2 minutes, close it, and then reopen it 2 minutes later, expecting there to be something different in there? I don't know how to get him to stop, okay? He's a menace when it comes to refrigerator and snacks. Now, we have a snack cabinet, okay? A cabinet full of snacks with everything from beef jerky to beef sticks to just all these snacks. Cupcakes, little Debbie cakes, all this stuff. Mom, I don't know what to get for a snack. Are we giving you too many choices? Like, you know, there's children out there starving, sir. Now, don't get me wrong. The snack cabinet is not just for them. There's snacks out there for everyone. There's snacks up there specifically for Maggie, specifically for Orion, specifically for Mr. Coffee, and specifically for me. But as long as the kids ask, they can have any snack in the cabinet. Maggie can never figure out what snack to get. She doesn't know what she's hungry for. And then she'll end up with something stupid like toast. Orion, on the other hand, right now, his current snack of choice, Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts. He will eat them for breakfast. If you let him, he'd eat them for lunch. But he just wants Pop-Tarts. And I'm like, sir, why are you eating breakfast for lunch? Or for a snack? He's like, well, there's no other snacks in here. I opened up the cabinet, y'all. We had Swedish fish. We had Haribo gummy bears. We had these creepy crawler gummy sour worms. We had sunflower seeds. We had little Debbie cakes. We had 3 beef sticks left, which is never left over because everybody goes for the beef sticks first. We had all this stuff. And this kid had the nerve to look me in my retinas and go, "There's nothing in there." That's when you take a deep breath and walk away. So yeah, so there was that. And I don't know how to get him, like, to essentially the saying that there's nothing in the fridge, that's inevitable. Like, that's not going to stop. But how do I get him to stop opening the fridge and then closing it and then opening it, expecting there to be a different result? That is the definition of insanity, folks. He is insane. Also, Orion got in trouble, y'all. But I'm going to tell y'all that in a few minutes because I got to tell y'all about this mother flipping chicken salad. Now, for those of y'all who watch TikTok, one, if you say you're too old for TikTok, let me just tell you, half the videos you like on Facebook are probably from TikTok. So just get on TikTok already. Don't spend your whole day on there. You will the first couple of days. But like after the first couple of days, don't spend your whole life on there. You can get lost in TikTok land. I'm just saying. I can't tell you how many times I was supposed to be doing something and I get lost at TikTok land and I'm like, oh crap, I was supposed to do something 4 hours ago. Anyways, moving right along. So I'm sitting there and one day last month, I was there was this lady on there talking about this goddamn chicken salad from Walmart. And I'm thinking, who the hell's eating chicken salad from Walmart? Like, y'all asking for diarrhea. And she's like, this chicken salad better be good. So-and-so said it was so good, so I'm going to try it out. She tries it, and she's like, y'all got to try this chicken salad. Well, every day since that day, I've seen at least 4 or 5 videos talking about this mother chicken salad. And I'm like, what's so freaking special about this chicken salad? So for those folks who have a Walmart, okay, you are going to go to Walmart to the deli section. I'm going to guess it's in the deli section. We don't really have a deli section at our current Walmart. We have a hot bar section. I just realized that. We've been here 4 years, and I just realized that. But yeah, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, let me try this chicken salad. So I go to my Walmart. You're going to look for rotisserie chicken salad. Now, I do like chicken salad. I've never had rotisserie chicken salad, but I do like chicken salad. So I was like, well, let me try this out. Let me see, let me see if this is good as they say it is. Cause I'm a little distrusting of stuff like this. Let me try it out real quick. Y'all, look, listen, if my mama was around, I would have smacked her right in the face that the chicken salad was so good. Y'all, if you have not tried the chicken salad from Walmart, do yourself a favor, go to Walmart, look for, and not the one with the cranberries and celery, because there is one that looks like the chicken salad and it says with cranberries and celery. That is not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking, which if you like that, you can go ahead and get that too if you want. But I'm talking about the container itself says rotisserie chicken salad. It's in the Walmart container. It says rotisserie chicken salad. Do yourself a favor, pick you up a container of that and some Ritz crackers. Y'all, look, we spent the entire weekend messing up 3 containers of that family-sized bucket of chicken salad. Of course, the only person that didn't like it was Orion. There's always one person in the house that doesn't like stuff like that, and it was Orion this time. Orion doesn't do mayonnaise. He doesn't like white sauces, so he doesn't do mayonnaise, and he hates pickles. He's a weird kid. I know. We still love him. He's still super smart. I was super excited because the other morning I was woken up to the school calling. They were confirming his seat at the Innovations Academy, which is the academy that he was telling you guys that he got accepted into, which if you did not make it to live and you did not know what happened with that, I think I mentioned it in a whip and chat. Orion was one of the 90 that was picked to go to the Innovations Academy. He was number 5 that was picked, so he was super excited. His biggest thing right now is that they have recess, which is something his current school did not have, and so he needs that time for his brain to wind down. And because the curriculum over in that school is so much more advanced, they give them that time to have a recess. So he was super excited about that. So his seat has been secured, and they are going to call us back at the end of summer to let us know. Essentially, they're going to send us his school shopping list. Which I need to start going back to Walmart again because the moment the little containers for the school shopping list are already out. They're already out. And I'm like, okay, if y'all remember last year, I was ahead of the game. I got every school supply that they needed. Even though they didn't use 1/4 of the ones that I gave them, I got every supply that I needed with no issue. Even got them new school clothes and shoes. All a whole month or so before school started. So I was super excited about that, which means I need to put about $500 away for school supplies and stuff for them for this year. Which I'm not sure if his new school is going to require him, because the schools around here, they require them to have 2 different sets of shoes. They have to have a set for in the building and then a set for outside. It just helps the janitorial staff not have to clean up muddy footprints and crap all over the floor. And they will change their shoes, and then they have cubbies outside of their classrooms that they put the dirty shoes in. So after recess, they go and put their indoor shoes back on, take off the outdoor shoes, and then they put them in their cubby. So they don't ever walk into school essentially with the outdoor shoes, which I kind of like that idea because that's how my house works. But I'm just saying. Anyways, so yeah, so there's that. But Orion did get in trouble this weekend. It's the first time I actually had to ground Orion since, oh God, I don't even remember the last time Orion got in trouble for anything. But he did get in trouble this past weekend, and I felt bad. For those of y'all who don't remember, Orion suffers from a little bit of insomnia. And the doctor told us it could be because of how much screen time he's getting. And I explained to the doctor that he doesn't really get as much screen time as you think. A lot of the times, he's reading a book. He just can't shut his brain off. Like the other night, I went up to his room because it was bedtime. I went to go say goodnight to him, and he was reading his Harry Potter book. He wasn't even on his games. So, like, a lot of the times where I'm thinking that he's on his games, because everybody always tells me, you know, you're too lenient with him. He's always up in his room. He's always playing video games. And then I'll go up there and he's reading a book. And I'm like, dude, he's reading a book. He's a good kid. Maggie's a good kid too, but she has her moments. So yeah, so I'm sitting there and it's like 1 a.m. and me and Mr. Coffee decide it's time for us to go to bed. So we go walking up the stairs and I hear, I got it. I was like, what the flip? Is there some chick in my house? Now, if you don't listen carefully, Maggie and Orion actually sound the same. They have the exact same vocal tone when they talk. And I thought for sure it was Maggie. I go in Maggie's room. She's asleep. And I also noticed that she turned her bed back around. Now, for those, if y'all remember, I told y'all a while ago that it was time for us to turn Maggie's bed because she has essentially what looks like a day bed because it's a bunk bed top that wasn't put on top of the bunk bed. And so we had flipped it around because it's time for her to learn how to sleep in a bed that isn't like a crib. So we flipped it around so that the outside of the bed was showing and the rail was up against the wall. Well, she decided to flip it back around because she got tired of falling out of the bed. And that's probably because when she fell out the last time, she fell and hit her leg on something and got a nice bruise on her leg. So she's not very happy about that. Yeah, because she got another bruise on her leg from playing outside the other day. And I was just like, you just going to have people thinking, up here beating the crap out of you, huh? And she's like, no, mommy, I'm just a big girl. I'm like, all right, whatever, bet. So we go in her room. Her bed's turned around. I'm thinking, how the hell did she turn that whole bed around by herself? You know what? Whatever. So I was like, okay, well, she's asleep. So, you know, we're just going to leave her. And we explained to her the next day that she has to get used to it. And she goes, I got tired of falling out of the bed. I'm like, that's the part you have to get used to. You have to get used to knowing where the edge of the bed is so you don't fall out. You think you're going to be married with a bed rail? Like, what the hell? So I'm like, all right. So we go into, like, I creep down the hallway and I listen at Orion's door and he's just in there snickering. And I'm thinking, now Orion does talk in his sleep, so I thought it was that. And I was getting ready to walk away, but it wasn't until I heard him say, I got it. I actually got it. I opened that door so quick and I'm like, you got what? Me thinking he's playing a video game. And he's like, you know, he got some treasure or something. Nay. No, you'll never guess what he was doing. You'll never guess. Take a look at guess. You can take a look at guess if you want down in the comment section. I'm going to tell you, obviously, but you can take a guess if you want to. If you guess reading a book, you were wrong. He wasn't reading a book. If you guess coding at 1 a.m, you would be right. What is coding? Doing something with programs. I'm not 100% sure what coding is because that's above my pay grade, okay? Mr. Coffee has been showing Orion how to do coding. Orion's like obsessed with it now. The problem is he's now being caught at 1 a.m. coding. Okay? So you know it's a nerdy thing. And I'm like, how do you punish your child for the fact that they just built like a website or something? And I'm like, I'm like, this is your realm. You deal with this. And he goes, I hear him go, so what did you get? And he shows Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee goes, that's my boy. Yeah. And I'm like, you're not helping, sir. He needs to be punished for being up at 1 a.m. when he was supposed to be asleep an hour ago. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. You're supposed to be asleep. Good job. But you're supposed to be asleep. I'm like, Mr. Coffee. He's like, I'm proud. I am very proud of him too. Orion, we are very proud of you, but you were very bad for not going to bed when you were supposed to. And he's like, Mom, I just couldn't figure out this last code and I finally got it. And now look, it works. And it was something to make some little character on his screen move. Like he made like this little something. I don't freaking know. And I was just like, that's great, honey. It really is. But you were supposed to be asleep an hour ago. So unfortunately for you tomorrow, you do not get to play with your computer. Both him and Mr. Coffee at the same time just sitting there making the big old pout face at me. And I'm like, Mr. Coffee, again, you are not helping, sir. And he's like, but I'm so proud of him. I get that you're proud of him, but he is up later than he's supposed to be. All right, dude, get in bed. And I'm like, Orion, I will see you in the morning. And Orion's like, okay, I'm sorry, Mom. I accept your apology, but go to sleep. I was just having trouble sleeping. I'm like, why didn't you ask for a sleeping gummy? I don't know. I'm sorry. He like rolls over with the saddest face. Orion always makes me feel like a bad person whenever I have to punish him, because he never does anything intentionally. Like, he doesn't intentionally hurt people unless it's Maggie. He never intentionally hurts somebody. But where did this diamond come from? I did mix one of my bags of diamonds, and I'm not unmixing it. I don't care. Fight me for it. I'm not doing it. It will just stay mixed up, and I know the difference because it's the AB color. I mixed that in the X, and I know what the other color is in there, so I'm just going to use it like that, I guess. But I just feel bad when I have to punish Orion, because he never does anything with malicious intent. He just does it, and he was super excited to get that code figured out that he had been working on, I guess, all day, and I felt bad, so I was like, I'm going to take the computer away for the day. I only ended up taking it away for half the day. He did go outside for a little bit. He went slip and sliding with his sister. Oh yeah, I think that's where Maggie got the other broom, from the slip and slide. But he came back in, and he apologized to me again, and I had him, I asked him, do you understand why you were being punished off your computer? And he said, yeah, it's because I shouldn't have been up that late doing the coding. He goes, even if I was only like, 2 whatever's away. He said 2 something away. I don't freaking know. Again, I don't even know what the frick coding is. So I'm like, all right, since you understand what you did wrong, are we going to do that again? And he goes, no, I'm sorry. And like, he has like the saddest look on his face. And I'm like, all right, fine, go back to your computer. And he's like, yay. I'm like, but play a video game like a normal kid. He's still coding, y'all. Like, I'm pretty sure if he woke up, he's probably coding now. So, yay. But I think that's all the time I have for today. I don't even know what time we're at, but it is what it is. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And if you don't have a wonderful day, or if you're not having a wonderful day, I hope something happens to make your day wonderful. If you could leave a like and comment on this video, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it, as it helps the algorithm push my videos to other folks, which usually I don't care about, but lately I do. I think it's just the Twitch thing. For those of you who didn't know, yes, I did start streaming on Twitch. Eventually, I would start doing diamond painting over there, but right now it's just drawing. So I do lives Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 3 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. So please feel free to join me. I'm over there at Caffeinated Doodler, and I will have the link to that Twitch channel down in the comments of this video, or in I'll put it in the comments and pin it, but I'll have the link to it in the description box of the video. So thank you guys so much for all your support. I do really appreciate it. I'm so happy that you guys love hearing these little crazy stories about the family, because that's my life and that's what I do. So with that said, folks, thank you guys again so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are like the best listeners. But with that said, I got to get out of here. And then apparently there's something else I have to do as well. So with that said, be safe, be crafty, and stay caffeinated. And always try to remember to wash your hands. Don't touch your face in public. Keep your 6 feet, and always try to be kind to others. You never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous and always stay cool.